Welcome to Everyday Heroes on Shaw TV. I'm your host, Leanne Evans. Today we will be talking to the men who are fighting fires and keeping our community safe. These are the men that put their lives on the line to save others in a fire. These firefighters are preparing for their day at work. For now, it's routine work at the station, but once a call comes in, they are at the scene in 6 minutes. Ron Robinson has been the fire chief in Medicine Hat since 2007 and has worked in all aspects within the department throughout his career.
And it's been an amazing journey. Working in every facet of fire service delivery has been just such a rewarding journey and such a rewarding career in the sense that I can give back to the community that allowed me to raise my family, my beautiful wife Susan and 2 children and now 4 grandchildren. And so this is a great opportunity to kind of give back to them.
He says this job is full of adrenaline.
It's a humble profession. Although the media shows because of the spectacular sight of an explosion or a fire, firefighters themselves would never use the term hero, would never use the term look at me. It's really actually, I don't want to get in front of the camera. I just want to do my job. I want to get in. I want to protect lives. So there's a certain humble quality that goes with firefighters that simply want to make a difference in their community and be able to talk about that great firefight that we overcame that looked like it was impossible to fight and rescue folk from an impossible situation. That has to be the mindset, but to do it wisely. And the basic job of a firefighter ultimately is to interrupt the spread of flame with the appropriate equipment, to get there in a timely manner, to be in a constant preparedness posture, to be able to strategically and tactically make the right decisions in seconds, to rescue those folk who are trapped by smoke and or flame. So that they really spend a tremendous amount of time preparing for a reaction that is going to save lives and save property and save environment.
Throughout his years as a firefighter, he has been involved with a lot of difficult calls.
In the fall of 1978, the year that I started, and one of our fire officers in a fire on Corbett Arms at the top of Sholton Hill had succumbed to smoke and had passed away. And it was quite a shock for me as a young firefighter who, being young, thought I was invincible, that we as firefighters are invincible. It was a reality check, and that our mortality certainly isn't what I had originally expected. And it was a wake-up call, and it may have a lot to do with why I felt so passionate about training, perhaps. And then following that, had a terrible trailer fire in Tower Estates where we lost 6 folk, an infant and a young 8-year-old boy and 4 adults. And that was attributed to careless disposal of smoking material in a couch. And got the call at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was in the wintertime, an 11-minute response. And that fire was already impinging on the adjacent trailer, and people were concerned that we weren't getting there in time. So at that time, we realized that the back door of the trailer had been padlocked. We found out later that it was because the 8-year-old boy was handicapped, he would escape from that back door, and so just to keep him in, they had actually padlocked the door, and that created a barrier for anybody to escape. So it was an absolute shock to me and to all of my colleagues at that time to think that we couldn't get there in time to save the lives of these folks. So that was, it's hard actually even to describe it without getting emotional, because that really resonates with me in terms of why we need to respond as quickly as we do to try and interrupt that deadly process and rescue lives.
Chad Akins has been a firefighter in Medicine Hat since 2007. He says the most important part of his job is having trust in his training and his team.
It's, I don't even know how to express that. I mean, on a call, those are the guys that have your back. Those are the guys that are, if something goes wrong, you need them there. It needs to be a well-functioning team. Your life depends on it. If something goes wrong, those are the guys that are going to come in and pull you out. And I trust those guys with my life, and I don't think anything of it. It's, you know what, it's a tight-knit group. It's definitely, it's a brotherhood in the fire hall.
When the firefighters are not out on a call, they are training and preparing. They also conduct business inspections and teach fire prevention.
We have firefighters and inspection personnel going into the schools and teaching stop, drop, and roll, and teaching them about the inherent dangers of playing with matches. And I believe strongly that message has been now carried forward and is impacting and perhaps in a small way, the number of residential fires that we're seeing. Cooking fire is still the #1 fire that we're dealing with, ironically. But at the same time, to see that educational awareness, evacuation plan, home escape plan, that are actually being practiced and save lives. So that educational component is helping us deal, I believe, with the fact that we've lost lives, that we're doing something to make a difference in our community for those positive outcomes.
Thank you for tuning into this edition of Everyday Heroes. Stay tuned, and after the break, we will be talking to a group that is dedicated to rescuing pit bulls.
Over 600,000 tons of Canadian ancient forest, including the boreal, is cut down each year for tissue products, like toilet paper. That's about 45 pounds of forest per person.
Behind the War Amps logo is a legacy of amputees helping amputees. The War Amputee and the Cenotaph represent the heritage of the War Amps. The children represent its future. Through CHAMP, the War Amps legacy will continue.
Welcome back to Everyday Heroes. Next, we will be talking to a group that finds homes for unwanted pit bulls. Meet Manny. He is a pit bull that has been rescued from California and is waiting for a new, loving home. The Prairie Pit Bull Rescue was started in 2010 by Jennifer and her friend Natalie with one goal in mind, and that is to rescue and find new homes for abandoned and unwanted pit bulls.
Basically what we do is take dogs from animal controls and shelters pretty much all throughout North America at this point and help them, rehabilitate them if need be, rehome them, and just help them find the loving new families and give them a second chance they deserve.
She says her and Natalie were volunteering with other rescues and then decided it was time to start their own.
We founded it in February 2010 and just started with taking a few dogs in here and there just to test the waters and see who was going to work out for us or not. And now, 2.5 years later, we're at about 315 dogs that we've rehomed. So it's just, yeah.
Jennifer works full-time at a dental office and volunteers her time to rescue dogs. She says all of the work done with the Prairie Pit Bull Rescue is volunteer work.
We all have full-time jobs. We all have families. We all have other obligations and responsibilities. It's something that just for the love of the breed, we get together and do it. I have volunteers all over Southern Alberta. We get together on weekends for adoption events in Calgary, Lethbridge, sometimes here in Medicine Hat. If I'm running, behind on adoptions, I'll call up a volunteer and be like, hey, can you help me out? Volunteers are what makes this happen. Volunteers also in the way of being foster homes. Without them, there's only so much Natalie and I can do on our own. Without our volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Before a dog is adopted, there is a long process that they need to go through.
Before they need to or can be adopted, they need to come into the rescue. They get assessed by me or Natalie. Assessments are with, small dogs, cats, other dogs, kids. Are they okay with you taking their food away, their bones away? How do they walk on leash? We pretty much cover all the basics. And we do it over a course of a week or two. If the dog continues to show solid temperament, we'll move into foster care. They will continue to assess the dog, get to know the dog. If the dog continues to be, as it was after the initial assessment, then we will find it a home. All dogs have to spend time with me or Natalie first, and then they go into foster care. And at that point, they are ready for adoption and do go up as available on the website. They all are spayed and neutered before they're adopted, of course, up to date on shots, dewormed, and microchipped. They're pretty much ready to go right away. So.
For the people who are looking to adopt one of the dogs, they go through an application and interview process to make sure the dogs are going to a good home.
Obviously, I need to make sure my dogs are happy too, and that the family's happy with them. So, if everything goes well, if I'm happy with the interaction, the family's happy with the interaction, then they'll take the dog on a 2-week trial period to make sure it's going to be the best match possible. After that, we'll discuss finalizing the adoption if I feel that it's the right fit for the dog.
Rayla Leffler has been involved with the Prairie Pit Bull Rescue for around a year and has fostered nearly 20 dogs. She is also adopted too. She says when a dog comes in, they are part of the family.
They are so laid back and so wiggly and so goofy that they're great with the kids. They protect them, they're family, yeah.
They're not aggressive.
No, they're not aggressive at all. There are so many dogs in need that I can't not do it. Basically, I can't turn my back on it knowing what I know.
Jennifer says the breed of dog is most likely to be found in shelters, and they have a bad stigma surrounding them.
They are, they're loving, they're amazing animals. They have such a bad rap. They really do. Everyone thinks that they're these horrible creatures, and they're not. Nothing of the sort. They're the most often to be found in shelters, high-kill shelters. They're the ones that get euthanized within days of coming into a shelter, regardless of age or temperament. They are most likely to be abused. They're amazing animals. I have a soft spot for them. I love their willingness to please. They love to snuggle. They're just amazing dogs. They really are. A lot of people think that they're very high energy, hard to handle. That is not the case at all. They're very much a dog that's so versatile. If you want to run marathons, fantastic. Your dog will be there with you. If you'd rather sit on the couch and eat potato chips all day, even better. They love to do that too. They're very versatile. Whatever you want them to do, they're going to do it along with you. They're easy to train. They're not hard to handle. I don't know, they're just goofballs, really. If you want to laugh every single day, then a pit bull is your dog, without a doubt.
She says every dog they bring in is a victory and has its own story.
You never forget the dogs that you've brought in. I guess, honestly, the one that really sticks to mind right away was a pitty named Surrey, who's actually been adopted here into Medicine Hat. She came from a horribly abusive situation in Lethbridge. It was not good at all. We believe that she had been locked in a closet-type room for the 3 years of her life. It was absolutely tragic when there were police involved, but when the owner went to go retrieve the dog, she grabbed a big bat and continued to yell at the dog and swing the bat at her before the police could grab the dog from her. It was absolutely horrible.
She says the main goal is to help the dogs and make a difference.
We try our hardest to help as many dogs as we can and help them have that second chance that they don't always get. We don't want, praise or anything like that for it. We just want the dogs to have that second chance and be in loving families and know what it's like to be loved by little kids and other dogs, and that's really why we do it.
For more information about the Prairie Pit Bull Rescue, you can visit their website at www.prairiepitbullrescue.com. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Everyday Heroes. If you would like to share the story of your local hero, email us at everydayheroes@sjrb.ca. See you next time.